quick, easy, affordable. This is the ultimate back to school makeup. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I'm going to show you how to achieve this makeup look today. It does not take very long at all, but it always gives you that put together, snatched, ready for anything kind of look. And I used all drugstore products, so anyone can recreate this makeup look. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So usually for quick and easy makeup looks, I always start with the skin. And right now I'm looking a little washed out, looking a little pale, so I like to add some warmth into my skin. And this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I'm using the shade 1 Fair, and this is a little tiny bit dark for my skin, so I'm going to apply a good amount of this all over. This is going to make my skin nice and glowy, like I said, add a little bit of warmth, basically just bring some life to our face. So before we blend that out, I'm actually going to go in with my Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. I use the shade 110, and this is a little bit light for me, so that's why the e.l.f. Halo Glow helps bring some warmth. I'm going to apply a little bit of this to my face. Not too much, honestly. For school, you don't really want your skin to look super heavy, at least in my opinion. I'm really going for like a fresh, healthy looking, glowy base. And then once we have those two products applied, I'm going to blend it all together using my Hourglass foundation brush. This combo is really going to give us such pretty, flawless looking glowy skin. It's not too heavy, it's not too natural, it still gives a really nice even coverage to the skin, and it lasts all day long. And do not forget to blend down the neck so your face and your neck are not two different colors. The skin is skinning, glowy, dewy, it just looks healthy. It honestly doesn't even really look like I'm wearing makeup, it just looks like my skin is perfect, which is the vibe we're going for. If you have any acne or little blemishes, like I have a little hormonal breakout in between my brows, which is the worst spot to get hormonal breakouts. In my opinion, brows and around the mouth, worst spot to get breakouts. On the cheeks, I don't even care. Doesn't matter to me, but these bother me. But we'll take care of those later. Anyways, I want to add a little bit more bronziness to the skin and just define my features a little bit. So I'm going in with the Juvia's Place Bronzed Cream Bronzer in the shade Buttercream. And this is so good. It's one of my favorite cream bronzers. It's $18. You can get this at Ulta. I know it's not as affordable as some other products that I've mentioned, but this is really worth it, trust me. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that cream bronzer on my Refi duo-ended brush and just start to pat it into the perimeters of my face. I focus this on the cheekbones and then around my forehead. And then whatever's left on the brush, I like to just swipe across my nose and my jawline. And then I like to flip the brush over and blend everything out with that duo fiber fluffy side. I just feel like doing this gives me a very airbrushed look, and it also gets rid of any harsh lines or streaks. That to me is the perfect amount of bronzer, and honestly what I love about this one in particular is it just blends and melts into the skin so easy. It gives a beautiful luminous finish. I know a lot of bronzers sometimes you can spend so much time blending out muddy looking bronzer, and that's just not the vibe when you're in a rush to get ready for school or work in the morning. So this one, so good. Now for one of my favorite steps, we're gonna go in with blush, and I have been loving this e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Peach Perfect. They have a ton of different shades, so whatever skin tone you have, you can find something that's going to look flattering for you. But for my fair-skinned girls, this shade is so good. It's like the perfect pale peachy shade, and it's pretty high coverage, so you might want to be careful not to over-apply. Apply less and then go in with more if you want. But I just love the way this looks on my fair skin, and it is so affordable, so it's perfect. I like to blend a little bit across my nose too. Do you see what I mean? Look at how perfect that color is. Oh, I'm just obsessed. And it's easy to blend out. You really hardly need any, just 2 tiny dots, and you're good to go. So now it's time for concealer, and let me just tell you, this drugstore concealer is probably my favorite concealer. It's the Maybelline Superstay Activewear Concealer, and I use the shade 05. This concealer made it in my top 5 favorite concealer video. I'm gonna plug it on the screen if you want to check that out. But the reason I love this is because it is so thin but gives such good high coverage. It lasts all day. It doesn't crease under the eyes. I love it for underneath the eyes. but it's also good for blemishes. I just cannot believe that this is a drugstore concealer. I would highly recommend trying it if you haven't already. I've linked it down below if you want to check it out. I usually just focus this around my eyes and my mouth, and then I dab a little bit on any blemishes that I want to cover up. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the skin. All those little pesky blemishes are covered. Everything looks even, but it's glowy, still looks natural. I do want to let these creams kind of set into place, but before we move on to the eyes, I do just want to mist my face with a setting spray. And so I'm going to be going in with the NYX Dewy Finish Makeup Setting Spray. This claims to have up to 16-hour wear, and I do notice when I wear this, my makeup lasts longer, and I really like this setting spray. It's a really good affordable option. Now for eyes, I'm just going to be using one palette. This one is so good. It's the NYX Warm Neutrals palette, and I love this one because obviously I'm a neutrals girl, but it has a really good mix of shimmers as well as mattes, and the way these shadows blend is such a dream. I actually duped the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes eyeshadow palette with this palette in one of my videos. I'll also link that on the screen if you want to know my drugstore dupes. But I'm going in with my Refer 01 brush, which is my favorite blending brush lately. Oh, it's just so good. And I'm picking up this shade here for a transition shade. It's just a nice kind of like neutral brown. I like to make sure it's evenly dispersed and I don't have any excess product just by rubbing that on the meaty part of my hand just to make sure we get a good even blend. And then I'm just going to start defining my crease. I don't want to go in too heavy. I want to keep this pretty natural. We're working in even, thin layers on the eyes because it's easy to kind of overdo it. So I'm just going in with a little bit of eyeshadow, windshield wiper motions, only applying that in my crease. And then little pro tip, take a clean blending brush and just run it all over everything if you really want your eye makeup to look so airbrushed and so blended. This isn't really necessary, but for me, you can never blend too much, so this is just a nice little step. You can build that up to the intensity you like, and then go ahead and take that same shade and drag that along your lower lash line as well. I'm using a Tennille Jai No. 6 Rescue Smudger brush for this. And I'm not bringing it all the way into my inner corner, I'm bringing it in like 2/3. And then for the lid color, I want to add a little bit of something glowy, and so I'm just going to pick up this shade here using my finger. This is a really quick way to just slap on some eyeshadow. I'm just going to tap that all over the lid. Look how beautiful that lid shade is. I love the soft glow of this and how easy it is to blend. It literally took me less than 30 seconds to get that color on there. I'm just going to drag a little bit along the lower lash line too, more so in the inner corner area. Moving on to eyeliner, I honestly think this is the quickest, easiest way to do a nice, sharp, clean liner. I'm going in with the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick in the shade Deepest Brown, and I'm just applying a little bit of that to my outer corner. Doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be clean, but I'm just focusing it on the outer half of my eyes and making a little teeny baby wing. And then once I've got that down, I'm going in with an angled brush and I'm just going to blend that out to create the shape that I want, really clean up those edges. And this is so quick and easy. And to me, brown liner is so much better for school and work than a black liner. It just looks more natural, it never looks too harsh, and to me it also just makes the colors in the eyes pop more. Look at how pretty that liner looks, and this is not going to budge all day long. It sets in place so good, so I do recommend doing one eye at a time because once this sets down, it's not moving. Now for mascara, I'm going in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. This is one of my favorite mascaras and I've really loved it for a long time. It lengthens my lashes, it separates my lashes, and it does not clump. It doesn't add the most volume ever, but that's okay because we're going to go in with a little half lash after this. Okay, so this step is optional. It's really only if you have the time and you want to put in the extra effort, but I'm going to apply a little false lash because at least when I was in high school or if I was going to college or whatever, I always loved wearing lashes. Lashes were kind of my thing that made me feel confident, so I would always put in that extra effort. And today I'm going in with the NYX Longwear False Lash System in the Fringe Glam Kit. I've never actually tried these before, so I'm excited to see what they look like. I'm not going to use this lash adhesive. I'm just going to put regular glue on these. I'm also just going to cut these right in half, just like that. And then with a little bit of fairy lash adhesive, I'm just going to pop that right on my outer corner. Just like that. and then I'm just gonna squish them together with my natural lashes. And of course, same thing on the other eye. Okay, and that is the lashes done. I actually really like them. What do you guys think? Is it too much? Definitely not for every day, especially not for when you're in a rush, but if you have like a presentation or you're trying to impress your crush or something, a little false lash always does the trick. I don't know, I just feel like whenever I want my makeup to look good, I wear a half lash. Just something about it. To me, a lash just completes everything. All right, let's go back to the face, shall we? Let's just finish up the base, get her done. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 05. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of a dupe for the Huda Beauty. This powder is so good. Let me show you. I'm picking up a pretty generous amount of that on my powder puff. Not too much though, just enough. I'm just patting off any excess on my hand to prevent any patchiness or anything like that. I like to quickly examine underneath my eyes to see if there's any creasing, and usually there is at this point because my under eyes aren't set, but this concealer does not crease and there are no creases. I'm telling you, that concealer is just so slept on. It's so good. Just for good measure, I'm gonna pat over it. I really don't need to. But then I'm gonna go in with my powder puff and just really set under my eyes really well, making sure to tap and not drag. I'm also bringing that right up against the side of my nose just to give that snatched tiny nose effect. And I'm just going to take what's left on that puff and powder my smile lines because I always get like shiny around my mouth. So I'm just going to powder all around this area. And if you get oily on your forehead like me, you might want to pick up a little bit of extra and just powder your forehead too. And then taking a powder brush, I'm just going to sweep away any excess powder. And I just feel like that makes such a difference. It really just makes those areas that I need really matte, super matte, and it stays matte throughout the day. And so, yeah, I'm just pretty selective on where I apply powder. I don't apply it like here or like the center of my cheeks too much because I still want a little bit of glow in those areas. Moving on to lips, my favorite part. I do have a little bit of lip liner on because I feel naked without lip liner and I'm a chronic lip biter, and so I feel like when I put a little bit of lip liner on, it covers the bitten lips, but I'm gonna blot away a little bit of that lip liner. And this is new from Maybelline. I'm going in with their Lifter Liner in the shade On It, and this lip liner. If you've been on TikTok, I'm sure you've heard of it. This is like the new It Girl lip liner. It's a cool tone lip liner and it's kind of giving like Endless Cacao by Makeup Forever or like NYX Nude Beige. It's just that perfect nude lip liner that makes your lips so juicy. And honestly, this lip liner lasts all day long. It's such a long wearing lip liner, but as you can see, I'm just applying it to my Cupid's bow and in the center of my lower lip mostly, overlining in those areas, and then just following the natural shape of my lip for the rest. And then right on top, this is one of my favorite lipsticks ever. This is the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the shade Bare It All. This is the perfect nude lipstick. I'm absolutely obsessed. I really just love Revlon lipsticks in general, but especially if you have fair skin, this is like the perfect nude. You can leave it like that if you want, but I'm a gloss girl, so I'm going in with the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Opal, and this has been one of my favorite glosses lately. It is so good. It is just the prettiest color. It gives the lips the most juicy, plump looking shine. It really smooths out all the lines in your lips. I just love it. There's little shimmers in there too, but they're not like noticeable. You can't feel them on your lips. They just really add to that glossy shine. And that is it for my quick and easy back to school makeup. This is really great for when you're in a rush. Obviously, you can skip a couple steps, but these products work so well together and they just make you look so good. This makeup look is super flattering, so you could honestly use it for any occasion. But yeah, since it's that time of the year, I thought it'd be a perfect time to do a little back to school makeup for you guys. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot, and I will see you in the next one.